is off this week, but he'll be back next week. So here we are today. We're going to be talking with Dr. John Owens from CAC. He's our chair of our Creative Arts Division. And we have a very special show for you today. As many of you know, I am the community events coordinator at the college, so I get to work with John a lot. And that's a lot of fun, actually. So
Lucky John.
Actually, everyone calls him Dr. O at our college. So is that just a CAC nickname, or have you always had that?
It just sort of stuck with me.
Dr. O. What does that mean?
Well,
It means my students don't have to actually pronounce my name.
Oh, there you go.
which is, really long, Dr. Owens, I think it's really a sign of affection, really.
One hopes, or at least that's what I tell my
I
students.
wasn't sure if that was like a James Bond or something like that.
Well, it makes me sort of sound hip.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sort
Gotcha.
of. Kind of. Maybe.
I think so.
Soon they'll lose the doctor. They'll just be O.
Yeah.
What's up? What up, O?
and actually, when he's not around, they do refer to him as the O. So I'm not sure if you know that.
I didn't know that, but then it's amazing what you learn when you come.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot to talk about today, but the Creative Arts Division at CAC has a lot going on. John's been in the role for how long? Fairly new?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half. But I want to start by asking you about your background, because you all have to know that John has been in the military, and he's also an actor. And I'm thinking those two don't usually mix. So how did that
Don't
happen?
whisper, Dora.
I don't whisper.
All right.
How did that happen?
You might be surprised how much they mix. It kind of, I was an Air Force brat. My dad did 21 years in the Air Force. So I hopped around. I was kind of in the military thing. I was getting out of high school, didn't know what to do with myself, didn't have a job, couldn't afford to go to college, and I didn't want to be the last casualty of the Vietnam War. So I signed up with the United States Coast Guard for 4 years and started out as what everybody does, as a seaman recruit, and swabbing things, cleaning things, all that sort of good stuff. Eventually became an aircraft electrician, did that for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got tired of really being poor, so I was fortunate enough to get into one of the early, sorry, this happens to me a lot. You can ask my students. At any rate, I got into school, managed to get a bachelor's degree, and ended up at their officer candidate school. I was about 29, and at that time they needed old guys. So I got a waiver, ended up in flight school, and flew helicopters for them for about another 11 years or so.
Wow.
I was an aircraft maintenance officer at the same time, since I had a background in being an aircraft electrician. And then... I don't know how sorted do you want this to get?
Well, when did you get into acting?
I
did you get
actually
in high school?
I did one show in high school. I
Yeah.
did Guys and Dolls in high school, and I enjoyed it. And then, but I was a little too macho, I thought, I mean, it was great if you wanted to meet.
I told you that was not mixing thing. It was an interesting.
Well, but there were really attractive girls in the theater department.
There you go.
Weren't a lot on the football field, so although I did play football, but so I ended up doing that. Ended up in the Coast Guard. And when I was stationed in northern Michigan, in Traverse City, Michigan, I did about 2 or 3 years of community theater up there. Had fun, had a great time, and then sort of did things like got married and had kids, and all of that kind of cuts into your...
into your dreams.
Well, you do a lot of acting. Anybody who's been anybody's dad knows you do a lot of acting, but I didn't get to do it as much fun as I did. So I went up to... after I retired, I went up to... Grand Rapids, Michigan, where my daughter was. Her mother and I had been divorced for a while. She moved in with me, and we did high school together. And I was really surprised and shocked because I was having a great time, and her friends and all of that kind of stuff. I always thought that really I didn't have much use for teenagers, but she sort of showed me the other way. So after I got her off into college and that kind of stuff, and she said, "Dad, I got to move in with my girlfriends," I said, "Well, what am I going to do?" And she said, "Duh." She says, "Why don't you do what I always wanted to do?" I said, "What's that?" She said, "You always wanted to be in the theater." I said, "Okay." There was a college there, Grand Valley State University. Long story short, I ended up in their program, got a master's degree in theater and communications there. Ended up down here for a while doing at ASU for about a year. And then I was the theater teacher at Queen Creek High School. I think some folks in the area probably know where that is. And then I got lucky and scored this gig at Central Arizona College, and I've been happy ever since.
All right. Well, yes, and we got lucky as well to have you. So, well, let's talk about CAC then. So, creative arts. You started out as the theater professor there.
Well, I still am the theater professor.
And you still are. And you guys are doing 2 shows a year. So tell me about next year. I know I'm very excited about this show that's coming up in the fall.
Well, in the fall, we usually do musicals in the fall. So it's a 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. It's a Tony Award-winning show. It's not as well known as some others. It's kind of a one act. It has some interesting different parts to it. It really is about a spelling bee. So the characters tend to be in the sort of 8-9-year-old range, those sorts of things. The interesting part of it is that you actually have you interview 4 audience members, and they actually get to participate in the spelling bee. So you sort of do a little improv with them, and they get to know and get to go on stage and get pulled out of the audience. And it's a good time.
Fun.
Good enough to win a Tony Award with it. So, but we have a really strong music program, and I really look forward to doing this kind of musical with with Dr. Kim Petrushak, who is our vocal director there, and good old Rick Moore, who will be helping me out with the music as far as the instrumental part of it.
Yeah. That's a great way to bring together the entire division, I guess, to put on a show. So I know we've talked about how there may be a certain designation of shows. Can you tell us a little bit about that? So, have you decided to do that?
Well, yes, we have. Actually, it's interesting because the show can be done as either a PG show or as an R show, and we've decided we're just going to split the difference. We're going to do a kids' preview on Thursday. I even wrote it down when it was. It'll be the 24th of October. And
That's my birthday.
Hey.
You have to come.
Okay,
Jim.
well.
To the kids' show.
Yeah.
To the kids' show.
We'll let you in free.
Hey. I'm a big kid anyway.
Well, okay. Qualify. So that and the Friday night will be our PG versions, and then we'll do the R version, somewhat more adult version, shall we say, on Saturday and Sunday.
Is that the burlesque show?
No, some of the songs talk about things that go up.
Gotcha.
If you know what I mean.
Balloons,
And that's
right?
a little bit
Exactly.
it, right? Well, great. I'm really excited. So how much singing versus acting, or...
Oh, yeah.
Is it
well,
all-
it's a typical musical. I mean, but the interesting part about the show is there are a couple of different places because it's six or 7 kids, not counting the folks that you are pulling out of the audience, and then there's usually 3 or 4. But the way they describe it in the synopsis is you're not quite sure they really are the adults in the room. And there is a lot of room to do improvisation and that kind of stuff, and something different, make it a different show every night.
Cool. So that brings me to my next thought about auditions. I know that you do auditions every semester, and well, for those of you that are listening, I believe they're open to the public. Is that
Yes,
true?
all of our shows have completely open auditions, and we have folks in from the community in it almost every year, every show that we do.
Wow.
What's the percentage of students versus community members that usually?
Well, it sort of depends on the show, but I mean, the folks in the wonderful Pinell County are paying me to teach students, so they kind of get first shot. That's
Yep.
for sure. But there are usually, depending on the show, we just did To Kill a Mockingbird, and there were probably 1/3 of the folks, the actors were actually folks from the community.
Oh, great.
All the way up to, I think one gentleman was in his late 60s.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's good news. So, listeners, if you want to come out, check it out.
please do. Auditions will be
Yeah, tell us.
actually at 6:30 at the Pence Auditorium on the 26th of August. And if you have a problem with that because you're busy or you're working or something, you can just email me at john.owens@centralaz.edu and let me know, and we'll hook you up as a straggler on the next night and make sure that you
Are
get a
there
chance.
parts that are like extras where there's a lot of people in a room? And I mean, are there...
Not in this show. There were a whole lot in To Kill a Mockingbird. There was a whole courtroom you had to fill out with folks. This one is pretty much around 11 is the max group you have, and you probably want to have the 6 kids played by students. So.
Cool.
Although I brought in high school students also to play different parts and stuff that we needed them in. So
Great. Great. So you just mentioned that this show may have some improvisation in it, and I think there may be some improv classes happening at CAC.
Actually, we are starting our first improvisation class in the fall. Actually, 3 of them. We have a gentleman by the name of Ken Ferguson who has years and years of experience as a professional improv performer, and we're able to get him to teach those classes for us. We'll be having one on Tuesday nights at Apache Junction, and then one actually downtown in Casa Grande on Wednesday night, I believe. And Thursday night we're going to try to do it at the Maricopa campus.
Oh, great.
The nice thing about improv is that you can do it in what equates to a regular classroom. So it's really our shot at trying to expand the theater department into the new campuses that we're opening up.
Right, because the other campuses don't have a stage and a black box.
Unfortunately, if they ask me, I tell them they need one. Actually, I have told them, but I don't think they paid too much attention. But.
So tell us a little bit about that. With many of you know, we just renovated our facility up at Penn Center. The gorgeous theater, state-of-the-art sound, lighting, stage. But we also have a black box theater, and I know you were a big proponent of having one. Why is that important?
Well, because a black box theater is the place that you can. And number one, I needed a place to teach theater because I didn't have. The only place I had was in the main stage itself. Also, it's the kind of place that you do things like I wanted to develop a dance program. We're in the process, and so they put a wooden floor in there, floating floor for us. And it's just a lot better atmosphere to do a type of theater that you have. You can do recitals, we've done guitar recitals, that kind of good stuff. A black box sort of presents you with a number of opportunities that the main stage, particularly someplace like the Pence, is booked.
Right.
Gets booked pretty quickly.
Right.
So we can leave that. It is actually an education space, and I've argued that a number of times with various people, but. It is an education space, and it's a place that we do classes, including our tech classes.
Yeah. And for those of you that have never been to a black box, it's actually a black box.
It is a black box.
It's literally a room with black walls and lots of mirrors, so I'm sure that helps.
Well, the mirrors are actually there for the dance classes. That's why they're there. But yeah. It does provide you basically an opportunity to workshop a whole bunch of things. Okay. Because you don't need a big set. You can't really get a big set in there. Yeah. But it's that sort of atmosphere. Yeah.
Well, we love it. And we have scheduled some recitals and events in the black box, and have been a lot of fun to do in this past year. So John, you have 2 usually shows in the year, and it's really fun to put him on the spot because he hasn't told me yet if he'd chosen a play yet for spring.
Oh my.
So now in front of the whole world.
And she never lets me forget it either. She's busy wondering for sure what she's going to do in the spring. I still haven't decided. Okay. I'm looking at a couple of different things. Part of it sort of depends on who I have in the fall too. Okay. I'm auditioning kids right now that are graduating from high school. And primarily for scholarships, but also just to see who. And I've got some really interesting folks, both from Florence and Post and Butte, and now some folks from Casa Grande as well. So
great.
I would like to do something since it's an argument between comedy, but I'm a Tennessee Williams fan, but I'm not sure I can get away with it where I am. So we'll see.
So how much does it depend on what you choose to do? Like, what is the decision-making process? A lot has to do with who you have as actors.
Well, the first consideration for me is where it fits into our curriculum, because every performance that we do is a curricular event. It actually is a class all by itself, and that's what you're paying for and what you get. Mm-hmm. So that's actually the first thing. How does it fit into the acting program we have? Do I have people at a particular level who are ready to do that? It really is. Is the majority decision maker. It also is what I want to do. Am I interested in something? Since I do the direction, I like to do a good job. And I'm getting to an age where I want to do what I want to do. So I just haven't figured out what that is.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, I'm excited to find out. And we have a lot of people in the community that attend these shows and have been a supporter for a long time, both obviously the friends, family, staff, students, but also a lot of people in the community that come out for these shows. They're really good quality shows. So we're excited to have you and have them in our stage and in our community events series. So.
Well, thank you. We have a bunch of very talented students, folks that work really hard and are interested in entertaining folks in Pinell County.
Cool. Well, one thing you've mentioned just a minute ago about scholarships and how you're interviewing high school students. And will you tell us a little bit about that? What's the process? How much there is there?
We're kind of it's kind of hard to do that right now because there's a decision being made about taxes right now. So I don't know what exactly how much I'm going to have. But what I do is audition students, usually a couple of monologues, and then we sit down and talk. People that I'm interested in having in the program, people that I think are particularly deserving, and that will add to our program and help us out in that direction. There are a number of performing arts, or there have been in the past a number of performing arts scholarships for both music, instrumental music. We're starting some programs in the entertainment industry technology program.
Okay.
And just trying to spread the wealth. But the bottom line is the bottom line, and the folks on the board have to decide what that bottom line is yet.
Right, which is coming up soon. I'm sure Tom has talked about that in the previous shows, and I'm sure we will in the future ones once we find out if we do get a tax increase and what the final budget of CAC is going to be.
One can hope. I pay taxes in this county too. So.
Yeah, me too. So, wasn't there at some point in the past, I think there was a Pinal County Arts Council. How are they related to this scholarship? I know they've maybe have donated some funds. Actually,
they seem to have. There was now defunct, I guess, Pinal County Arts Council, and they had been sort of out of business for a couple of years, but they still had money in their treasury, so they put their board together, and one particular individual put it together and talked about a way perhaps to have a theater scholarship and support a theater scholarship. So at the time that they were still very active, the theater teacher at CAC was Winston Hoffman, and he was very well received, very well known. I still run into people when I'm at the American College Theater Festival who knew Winston and had very great things to say about him. He's unfortunately passed away. So the folks from the Pinal County Arts Council decided to donate that money, make it part of a scholarship, and or actually become a pair of scholarships is what it did. And so that's the nice thing about it is the other scholarships that I have are for tuition only, and the Winston Hoffman Scholarship can be used for housing, books, all of that kind of good stuff.
Very fun. Great. All right, well, I think if maybe it's time for a little bit of a commercial break for us at KQCK Live. You're listening to CAC Live with Dora Tompkins, filling in for Tom DiCamillo, talking with Dr. John Owens, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Are you experiencing computer problems? Is your computer running slow, bogged down with viruses and spyware? You need a reliable and knowledgeable, trustworthy computer service company. Contact Computers, Networks, and More, located in Santan Valley. Get your computer or laptop running in top condition by a certified technician with 20-plus years experience and beta tester from Microsoft. Computers, Networks, and More provides repairs and solutions to any computer-related issue, whether it's software, installation, troubleshooting, updates, or tune-ups. You can trust Computers, Networks, and More. Contact Jeff Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. to schedule an appointment. We can have you up and running quickly, usually within 48 hours. Located in Santan Valley, Computers, Networks, and More. We're here for you. Contact Jeff at 480-729-8899. That's 480-729-8899.
Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning, styling, flea and tick dips, ear cleaning, nail trimming, and so many other services that will leave your pet looking good and smelling good and feeling great, all at an affordable price. Located in Queen Creek and Sun Lakes, call now for an appointment, 480-655-5066. Kelly's Critter Clips. When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, Dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry services that will keep you and your family smiling. Our commitment to our community is to provide outstanding oral health. Hill Family Dentistry is located on 36359 Ganzel Road in Santan Valley, diagonally across from Banner Ironwood Hospital. Evening and weekend appointments available. We accept most insurances and have in-office policies available for non-insured. Contact us today at 480-588-8127. Hill Family Dentistry.
As a small business owner, you need to make every dollar count. Phone services are the first indication of quality your customers see in your business.
Get all the latest features at a great monthly cost that can save you money and project your business as a professional entity.
Call Zentris Communications at 1-877-ZENTRIS. That's 1-877-936-8727.
That's 1-877-936-8727.
Welcome back to CAC Live. You're listening to Dora Tompkins filling in for Tom DeCamillo. Today we're talking with Dr. John Owens, who is the chair of our Creative Arts Division here at CAC and has been our theater professor for several years here. And so we're excited to learn about the program and about the division itself. And so we've been talking a little bit about what's going to happen in the fall and next year as far as your particular projects, but I thought maybe we should talk to you about the division and see what else is going on in the other departments and areas.
Well, we have a very, as I've already mentioned, we have a very active vocal area. I just had to hire a second voice teacher because the first gentleman we have, Joel Wolcott, has maxed out the number of students he can teach, and him and Dr. Kim Osteen are working on expanding our program there. She doubled the size of her jazz choir this year. So folks seem to be interested, and we're certainly pointing them in that direction. We have our our visual art program, and basically that's actually the busiest program that we have, the one that's spread out the most. We're starting to have our first painting class out in the Aravaipa campus, first real arts class that we've been able to do out there, mostly because we got an instructor. And so those are the sorts of things we were doing in all of our other campuses: painting, 3D design, drawing, ceramics. Ceramics is very big. It's big at the campus at Signal Peak and very big over in Apache Junction. So we're trying to get that taken care of. They're interesting folks in the ceramics department. But also, we have the EIT program, which, as I mentioned before, is the Entertainment Industry Technology program, and it's a unique program in that it's really focused on delivering students able to start in the business, in the entertainment business, in one or two or three different areas. We have an AAS degree in Artistic and Venue Management for folks who want to do what you do and want to manage both managing artists and managing theaters, that kind of good stuff. We have an AAS degree in Live Audio and Lighting that is actually taught primarily right now by Jerry Deal, who is our theater manager and also is our technical director. He's our tech director there. But that's for folks who are interested in touring, really, with bands and all of that kind of wonderful stuff. We also have an AAS degree in recording engineering, and that's probably the hottest area that we have things in, because we have 3 studios. We have an 8-track, 24-track, and a 48-track studio over there. That's basically state-of-the-art. You get from us the same training on the same equipment. It's about $78 a credit hour, as you get down at the Music Conservancy for about $20,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
And it's all of those studios are available. And what's interesting is the integration of the folks with the popular music performance track, who are actually people who are singing and putting together bands and all of that kind of stuff. All of this sort of just kind of works together. Those are some of the people that are being managed by the venue management folks and are being produced for iTunes and other places like that in our recording studios. So we're looking in the future. There's going to be a theater technology track very soon, I hope. We've got a couple courses to iron out some curriculum with, and that should be done. And eventually, I would just like to have a performance track for people who want to do theater, do film, do music theater, that kind of stuff. That's a little farther down the pike.
What a great opportunity for, for living in Pinal County and not having to travel so far and being able to get these kind of experiences. That's pretty amazing. And it's funny, as John mentioned, part of my position at CAC is sort of being like a front house manager for the theater. So that venue management degree is exactly part of what I do. So recently I've been asking some of the bands to come in that are performing in the EIT program. And recently I've been contacted by their manager.
Well,
so they now have a manager, and they are, they're learning in their venue management program on how to make that all happen. I've heard they even signed a contract with each other. So I love it. It's wonderful.
That's what you're training them to do, right?
That's right. They're learning. So this is great stuff. Going back to what you said earlier about Dr. Petroshak, I know she's been on this show, and she's probably talked to you all about the voice and the choirs and everything. But I know that so the jazz choir doubling is a big deal. I know she takes them on to different festivals. Where
yes, she has one up at NAU, Northern Arizona University, and then she just got back from Reno, going up there with a fairly busy, I understand, conference with folks from all over the area in general.
Yeah. What a great experience. And I believe that they won some awards. I'm not sure if you know specific. I don't know what they won, but it's just nice to know that they...
Oh, yeah. They're picking up awards left and right. One of
Yeah.
them, Anthony Felix, I believe, also picked up a single award while he was there.
Oh,
and
wow.
they received some outstandings as far as they're graded and adjudicated by different folks while they're there. That's
Oh.
part of why they go. That's actually why they go, is to
Is-
get better.
To be judged.
Yes.
What's adjudicated? That's
Adjudicated, usually that's I sort of use it in a sort of a blanket text as folks that are coming in and basically offering you criticism on the types of performance that you have. And that can be formal or informal. And usually when you go to these, or the music conferences, there are a series of outstanding, good, those sorts of numbers that they put on you. But they also go into long dissertations, shall we say, on what you did right and what you did wrong.
Yeah, wow. And I know you have brought people in for the theater program to watch the show. How do you even find these folks? I mean, there's an association or some. How do
Right.
they
The
become?
Kennedy Center, or the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival, is an organization that basically offers, and they call them respondents. And I do this for other schools in the area. And you put the show up as to have an opportunity as a participating group in order to have folks come take a look at you. They're going to offer you feedback on what you're going to, and also the respondent then has the opportunity to recommend 2 or 3 of your students to go to the regional festival and participate in the Irene Ryan Scholarship competition. Now, our students get to compete against folks from Cal State Fullerton, even some folks who are like in MFA programs and that sort of stuff. So, but the main thing is that taking students to this sort of thing, pretty much every time I go, it raises the bar. It shows them what can be, what students their ages are doing, and gives them an idea of maybe where they want to go. So, and also they have what's known as the next step auditions. And anybody can audition for that. I could if I wanted to, but I kind of got a gig already. So, and these are folks from Disney, from different colleges, all of this. It's basically a 90-second cattle call where you get to go do whatever you want for 90 seconds, and then folks will decide if they want to talk to you, do callbacks for things like actually going to their school. I've had students who've gotten internships at the Disney folks doing next step auditions. So the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival was a really fabulous opportunity to support arts, in particular theatrical arts, in both at the college level.
That's great. And I believe this past year you had a couple of students that were chosen for that, right?
Yes, we took 3 folks there, and the nice thing is that you take 3 folks and then they have to choose a scene partner. So somebody who may not have gotten selected by the particular respondent then gets a chance at, and they are in the Irene Ryan competition, And of course, they're not looked at for the scholarship per se, but they get to do the next step audition if that's what they want.
Yeah, that's a great experience for them. That's great.
Super. I think.
Okay, so let's go back to a little bit about the visual arts programs that you've mentioned. I know ceramics is one of those. We've talked on this show before about empty bowls and trying to expand empty bowls and having lots of ceramics bowls out there for that event, and that's a great program. I know recently you were telling me about all these interesting things you learn about the kiln and the different mud and all these things that you would have never thought.
Well, I'm not a visual artist. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler or any of those types of things. But in this business, there's a lot of support areas, particularly in ceramics. And you have different types of kilns and different types of clay and all of those wonderful sorts of things. And we got to bring on a couple of gentlemen who have a great deal of Frank Menchaca and Rich Littlefield over at the at the Apache Junction campus. Both of those gentlemen who know what they're doing and know their way around a kiln, as you say, and a glaze, and all of that fancy stuff that I haven't got a clue, but I'm sure glad I got them to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, or what I'm supposed to be paying for, is usually the way that it works. But right now, unfortunately, it is kind of a high overhead type of art, in that you have to have wheels and all of that kind of stuff. And the only places that we are able to do ceramics right now is at Signal Peak or over at Apache Junction.
Okay.
I would love to be able to take that anywhere, any of the other campuses. I'm sure folks would like to see that there.
Right. Well, one project that I'm involved with the Visual Arts Division is, for those of you that might be listening from Casa Grande, we have downtown Casa Grande has offered CAC a space to have student art galleries. And so we're working with our lead professor from the Visual Arts Division to make that happen a couple times a year. So I'm really excited. It's going to give extra exposure to the students and just spread the good news of art and performing art and visual art at CAC that you guys do out there. So I'm excited about that.
Well, Professor Susan Ramos is our lead faculty in that area, and she's the person who... she's another one of those wonderful, talented people who tells me what to do, and I just do it.
Great. So what about Rick Moore's area? Anything new there? What do you know what they're going to be doing next year?
Rick Moore, well, Rick has had for a number of years, he's our instrumental music director, and he has had one of the most outstanding jazz bands in the area for years and years and years and years. And that's Rick's particular area, although he is the guy that I force to actually put orchestras together when I do musicals, and he's very nice about that, and his wife is very nice about that too, because there's a whole lot of work involved. And but Rick has, as himself, is an incredible player. He still performs professionally. He a couple months ago he got called to play in the pit of the road show for Wicked up in Omaha, I believe. They had a shortage, and they know his name and his reputation. Gave him a call, and he just hopped on the airplane and went up there. He does gigs for all sorts of interesting things still, mostly because he just likes to play.
Right.
And we are rebuilding our band section a little bit because we went and got a whole bunch of them graduated. And that is what we're supposed to do. At least that's what the president keeps telling me. But sometimes that leaves you with a rebuilding year or two. Yeah. So last year was a little bit of a rebuilding year in that area, and I expect that things will be hopping again, as they say, pardon the pun, particularly with the jazz band, but also with our community band. And those are community members, like probably 60 to 70% of those members. A lot of them who have been with him for ages.
Yeah, I've heard some of the band members in the community band have been around for 30 years even. I mean,
oh yeah,
through multiple band directors, and they really truly know the history of what's going on.
And they do nice work. They do really nice work. We really encourage you folks to stop on by, and Dora here will be advertising and telling you when those particular performances for that are. Yes,
so every year we have at least one band concert and one jazz band concert. I'm sorry, I should have said every semester, so really twice in an academic year. And the great news for everyone that we can announce now is that next year they will be free of charge. So there's really no excuse for not coming. So we'll definitely get those dates out for you. I will be back with KQCK Live here on CAC Live in June, and hopefully I'll bring you some dates and some specific information about our upcoming season. So we're excited to have those. So, well, great. Well, it's really nice talking to you, John. Let's change the back to the recitals you've mentioned earlier. I know that we now have the voice program. We also have a piano program. Is that right? And what can you tell us about that? And I know I'm working with the faculty members now to add those recitals to our schedule so that the public can attend them.
Well, in our sort of general push to try to expand all of the things that we do for the folks in Pinell County, we have you can take individual private lessons, both in pretty much in any instrument that you're interested in. I don't think I have anybody for the bassoon, but we would try to find someone if you were interested in playing the bassoon. But included in that is our piano program. There are piano classes, but there are also individual lessons for individuals. I think it was individual enough. I think something like that. And we really encourage folks, they're relatively, if you compare what you're going to be paying outside for private lessons anywhere in any of those things, you're going to find them very, very reasonable. And we're having some of the best folks that we can find. Certainly some, both of our voice teachers are working from ASU's music department. Dr. Petroshak got her, just finished her Doctor of Musical Arts up there in composition. And so we're trying to bring the best folks that we possibly can to as many different opportunities as we can to provide arts training and education and just fun for the folks in Pinell County. So if you like art, call us.
Yes, and then we'll definitely get the news out about these recitals that are coming up for next year. So, well, that's great. Maybe it's time for another commercial break real quick. You're listening to CAC Live on KQCK Live with Dora Tompkins, filling in for Tom DeCamillo, talking to Dr. John Owens, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your way. Hi, Marie here for wannasing.com. Are you looking for professional DJ or karaoke services for your next holiday party or get-together? wannasing.com can provide the best in sound, lighting, and a professional MC to host your next event. Whether it be a company party, birthday party, wedding, or any occasion, wannasing.com is ready to provide the fun and make it a night to remember for years to come. Call 480-664-8801. That's 480-664-8801. Mention this radio ad and receive a special discount for your next fun event. wannasing.com. Are you having plumbing or septic problems? No worries. Call Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Been in the Valley since 1996. Family owned and operated. Proudly serving East Valley and surrounding areas. With a full range of services from drain cleaning, septic tank pumping, general maintenance and repairs, inspections for the sale of your home. They provide excellent and courteous service for all your plumbing and septic needs. We're not satisfied till you are satisfied. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call today. Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Contact Denise at 480-987-8051. That's 480-987-8051. Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning, styling, flea and tick dips, ear cleaning, nail trimming, and so many other services that will leave your pet looking good and smelling good and feeling great, all at an affordable price. Located in Queen Creek and Sun Lakes, call now for an appointment, 480-655-5066. Kelly's Critter Clips. Santan Motorsports, located in Queen Creek, specializes in off-road ATVs, dirt bikes, UTVs, side-by-sides, street bikes, and provides performance work. Santan Motorsports is your local dealership for off-road parts and accessories. They provide and pride themselves on excellent customer service and a staff that understands all aspects of the off-road business. Come in and browse our dealership and find those parts and accessories you've been looking for. Check our website, santanmotorsports.com, for monthly specials as well as used equipment. Santan Motorsports, your one-stop shop for sales, service, and knowledgeable staff. Located in Queen Creek on Power Road and Santan Boulevard, or call 480-988-0580. Santan Motorsports, we're here for you. When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry services that will keep you and your family smiling. Our commitment to our community is to provide outstanding oral health. Hill Family Dentistry is located on 36359 Gansell Road in Santan Valley, diagonally across from Banner Ironwood Hospital. Evening and weekend appointments available. We accept most insurances and have in-office policies available for non-insured. Contact us today at 480-588-8127. Hill Family Dentistry.
Welcome back to CAC Live. You're listening to Dora Tompkins filling in for Tom DeCamillo. We're talking with Dr. John Owens about CAC's Creative Arts Division on KQCK Live today. So before we get back to talking to Dr. O, I just want to announce a couple of quick things. June 4th, so next Tuesday, downtown Casa Grande, if you're around, come on down for Art in the Alley. We have a wonderful event there. This time around, CAC's taking a big role, and we're going to provide a water obstacle course. So don't worry about getting hot, because you'll get wet. And we have.
Can you do it in your scuba gear?
You can. Please bring your scuba gear,
Nice.
or a bathing suit, or anything else you'd like to get wet in. So we'll have lots of fun.
As long as you do it in something.
Yes, please wear something.
No thongs allowed, right?
But yeah, if we'll have prizes for you for going through the obstacle course, and it'll just be fun to be outside. And there's going to be lots of other things too, crafts. There's going to be bands, music, a car show. So definitely check it out. And then at CAC for the summer, we're doing poolside movies. So if you enjoy in being in the pool, watching a movie, then come on down. It's going to be at the Signal Peak campus. That's where our pool is located, and we have them every 2 weeks on Wednesday nights. Our first one was last night. We showed Pitch Perfect. Next one will be The Avengers, and so there from now on, it's actually going to be all PG-13 and below, so PG and G movies. So we'll have the Pirates of the Caribbean, Brave, and Finding Nemo. So bring out the family. It's only $1. And that's actually free for anyone under 5. So just want to make sure everyone knows who's listening. So www.events@cac.com is what to remember, as to where to get more info and where you can RSVP for your spot at the pool. So Fun times. Well, John, thanks for being here today. We appreciate you talking to us. As I was thinking about the programs that you've been telling us about and the different classes, I wanted to ask you, so what if someone is taking these classes, but they will not everyone's going to become a famous actor or famous director, or may not even pursue the rest of their life in that area. How does, though, taking acting classes or taking art classes make them better at whatever they'll end up pursuing as a career?
Well, I think the research is out there already on the way folks, the soft skills that you pick up in the arts programs, and particularly my area of the performing arts. One of the things I work with students, in particular in my 101 class, and that's usually where I get students who are just sort of sticking their toe in the water, shall we say, is they get the opportunity. I work with them with stage fright. I think it's the second largest fear that Americans have, is speaking in front of folks. So we go to some trouble to sit down with them and to work with the folks in the class and slowly introduce them to getting up in front of folks and doing those sorts of things. And if you're in any million of the lines of work where you have to do presentations, where you have to talk to people, even just board meetings, that sort of thing, it'll help you. We can help you with the confidence that you need with that, and let you get some experience in that area, along with a whole bunch of folks who've had that sort of experience themselves. I still get stage fright in any number of different ways, but you sort of learn if you're in the business, you learn how to deal with it and to use it, actually, because it's just energy.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was actually just having this conversation with one of my staff members who's going to take her acting class next year, and we were just talking about all the benefits, death and then public speaking, right? Those
exactly.
That's about it for our
Some
fears.
people public speaking and then death.
And then death, right? So I think that's great for anyone to know about. Now, if students are coming to CAC and they get their 2-year degrees or their associates, what type of 4-year degrees do they move on to?
Well, in theater, their opportunities are to move on to get a bachelor or BFA or something like that. In a number of the state universities, ASU has a program. NAU, one that I'm particularly partial to, and they're not paying me to say this, is the University of Arizona. But their University of Arizona's theater program is specifically designed. Their acting program is to put people in the job, in the business, and they're going to do the things it takes to help you with those things. A number of programs, our AJEC courses, all of that, all transfer. We've already worked those sorts of things out with the folks at the universities, that their courses, particularly if they say that they're AJEC courses, then those will already be taken as they are straight into certainly any college, any of the 3 universities in the state of Arizona. It depends what you want to do, but we can provide you entertainment, we can provide you education, and we can help you get to where it is you want to go.
Awesome. So yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of students who end up then pursuing, communications or business, but yet they got this amazing background and sort of base work in their own development in taking some of these performing arts classes. So let's talk a little bit about that. I know that you've been working with high school teachers and bring them together. I know that arts are being cut in a lot of the schools, and so how does that affect CAC and college and sort of higher learning? And
well, for us, we have the problem is that's actually where we get the kids that actually have some experience. It's actually more of an issue for the folks in the music area, because in order to play in Rick's band, you pretty much have to be doing it since about middle school. And unfortunately, in a number of areas, those sorts of classes have fallen to the budget acts. Rick has some really close connections with folks in middle schools and high schools, and has been doing it for a long time. And I sort of looked at what he was doing, and I said to myself, what are we going to do about this? And having been having been a high school theater teacher, which, by the way, that job does not exist anymore. If I still had it, I would be out of work. Is to try to find some way to to expose kids to this sort of to the arts anyway. Yeah. The best way I knew how to do that was just to see who was out there and who was doing what, and what we could do. So we just put together a little meeting. Had folks from high schools, from middle schools, from private schools, all the way from anywhere from K to 16. That was our mandate, more or less, to talk about what's happening, and then to see if there's some way that by sort of forming a group, we could help each other out and maybe get that kind of training to our kids, despite the problems with support from different school districts. We had that meeting. We had a really good meeting. We decided to form a group called Pinell County Theater Network. We have a Facebook page, and we're already just the first thing that we're trying to do is just to let each other know what we have. I'm fortunate because I have Jerry Deal, who's an incredible resource in the technical area, and anything that we can do to help folks out pretty much at every level. We had previously, I had one-act festivals for high school theater programs, and hadn't been able to do that this year because I couldn't find enough high school programs to show up. And now we've had, through sort of making these connections again, found out that there are ways that we can get at least 3 of the schools in to do that sort of thing.
Right.
We have one-act festivals, and then we have training programs for them, workshops all day, that kind of stuff. We usually have the folks, some of our band folks from EIT come and play and just let everybody play a concert for a little while.
Fun. Well, that's great. I know that I belong to the Arizona Presenters Alliance, and a lot of the venues in the state of Arizona are talking about this whole idea of the arts aren't being the forefront of people's maybe lives in today's environment. A lot of our audiences are more elderly, and so how do we, with all the cuts in the schools, how do we bring arts to come back alive? So both for those that are wanting to be in the arts, but also for the audience. What do you think about that? Is maybe would this network might at some point help just general student bodies to appreciate art, or
Well,
right now you're focusing on just maybe the creation?
Well, right, and what we're trying to do, the main focus of what we're trying to do is support the groups that are out there that are doing it, and if possible, sort of encourage folks to get with the program doing it.
Right.
We're very fortunate at CAC because the board at CAC takes their commitment to the community very seriously, and their support of us, certainly in the arts programs, and their support of us and encouraging us to be out supporting the folks in the community. So that's sort of why I thought we were at a good place to be able to sort of just ramrod this a little bit and put it together. So we're just helping folks who are just our tax-paying friends.
That's good.
Even if you're not paying taxes, we'll be glad to help you.
Right. Yeah, well, it's kind of a big issue. I know a lot of people are doing this type of outreach, so I think that's a great direction. So I just recently was in a meeting talking to some folks who are putting together a group for Pinell County to bring together artists and to become this sort of centralized place where they can help them get venues and get their art out there. And I think it's called the Black Box Foundation. I know you're familiar with the group that's doing that, but it's in the similar vein of really trying to help the schools that have lesser abilities to promote the arts and the appreciation of art. Tell us a little bit about, from your experience, what do you think, how does society benefit, like in a completely philosophical way?
Well, boy, you're going to give me the tough questions now. Basically, art is how we've expressed ourselves since we've been painting animals in the middle of caves in one shape or form or another. It is the way that we have supported our society, devised our society, at times provided a means of education in one shape or form or another. It's the main means of communication that we really had if you look at the big picture, shall we say, whether it's writing, reading, whether it's theater, whether it's art, whether it's dance, any of those things provide an opportunity for humans to express themselves. And if you know humans, you know they need to express themselves. And you know that they will express themselves in one shape or form or another. So we try to help them with that. I think that's the basic benefit that our children, and there's actually been a ton of research done on the types of the fact that children, and every child is involved in the arts at one time or another, even when they're just inventing their their imaginary friends. That's actually what they're doing is art, and that it is intrinsic, if you will, to the human condition, and that unfortunately it seems that it gets squelched a little bit as people get older, but people rebel against that, and they come and take classes with us, and so if you want to be rebellious, come on over
You
to
let them out of the
CAC.
box.
Absolutely. We turn them loose and put on our padded, outfits and our helmets, and off we go.
Okay, great. Well, we're getting close to the end of our show here at KQCK Live on CAC Live. We're talking with Dr. John Owens from the Creative Arts Division. And so in closing, tell us a little bit about the acting things you've done. What shows have you been in? I want to know, what characters have Dr. O been in?
Oh, my God.
Because, I always see you as a director, so
I mean, this is, it's about my students, not about me. My background is mostly in community theater and college theater. I've done a little bit of summer stock as both a technician and as an actor. I did some community theater. I played I can't remember his name now. 7 Brides for 7 Brothers over at Queen Creek with their community group over there. I played Adam. That's the guy's name. The older brother. I played El Gallo in The Fantastics. That was a little while ago. And I played Martin Dessart in Equus when I was at the university. And I really still enjoy acting a little bit. It takes a little longer to memorize lines these days, but I don't know why that is, but it happens. And the directing aspect of things is very interesting, particularly if you're a teacher. I think that it really brings you an opportunity to bring a whole lot of talented folks together and do some really, really interesting things. So I directed a lot of high school. I've directed a lot of college. Or I should say community college, not so much at the university, although I did do some things while I was at Grand Valley State. And I've actually had a lot of background in what we called health education theater. Or when I was at Grand Valley State, we had a real problem that we were losing students to things like drugs and particularly destructive drinking types of habits. So we put together a small theater group, and we would go into the dorms and different places and just sort of present people with real life scenarios and let them get a chance to see what it looked like, and just get them a chance to talk about it. Our objective was to try to get as many students alive at graduation as we possibly could. So that's actually my background. And pretty much one of the reasons I think I probably got this job is because of the focus on working in the community that folks at CAC have always had, that I know of at any rate.
Yeah, great. So what's your favorite show?
My favorite show, oh my gosh. All right, my favorite play
one?
is The Fantastics.
Oh, really? Okay.
Always has been. It is the quintessential music. It starts off talking about all that wonderful stuff and love and how that always, is supposed to work out and that kind of stuff. And then in the second act, it talks about how maybe it may not be quite like that. But it still comes around in the end, as they say. I love the music to it. It's incredibly interesting, and it's just a blast to do. And I will do it eventually. I've sort of got to wait until there's only one female part in the whole play. So I'm very fortunate because I have a lot of guys in my program, but I have a lot of females too. So I would not be a terribly popular guy if I did that right now. But it has a particular skill set. People really have to sing. The gal that plays the one female role is very, very challenging. But and I just love the music. It's where the song "Try to Remember" comes from, and a whole lot of other interesting things. And of course, I'm showing my age when I talk about that.
Well, great. Well, Dr. Dope, thank you so much for being our guest on CAC Live today. We appreciate everything you share with us, Joe. We appreciate it. And that's the end of our show. So we'll see you next week with Tom DeCamillo on KQCK Live on CAC Live.
Got termites gnawing on your house? Do you have a pest problem in or around your home or your business?